This podcast has mature language, not intended for underage viewers.
Street cred sports. Street cred sports. I'm crossing over. I'm Euro stepping.
Yes, sir. Hello, this is Keenan of Street Cred Sports Training, and welcome to another episode of Time to Ball. Episode 15. Hey, man, I'm never going to get tired of my theme music. I'm sorry. I hope y'all don't either, but I could sing it, say it with your chest. Okay, that's a bet. Man, I love it. I love it. I hope everybody's doing well. We are continuing going on with what we do on a regular basis. So again, hopefully everybody's doing well. Let me start out with some things on my mind. I'm about to lose some viewers right now because I'm about to go after the weatherman. Yeah, man, it's time to go after the weatherman. I don't know about y'all, but I'm sorry. I actually know a weatherman, a weather girl. But, the problem I have is I call it accountability. If you're wrong, then you need to say you're wrong. If I make a mistake in a drill with explaining something or I tell them something wrong, I always tell them, oh, that was on me, my fault, my bad, and I correct it. But weathermen on and this go. I'm sure you listening to this wherever you are on this over this vast country of ours and over this vast planet Earth of ours. Y'all had the same issue sometimes when they say it's a 70% chance of rain and you don't get a drop. It ain't even cloudy. Hell, the other week we had what we were told was going to be kind of like an apocalyptic snow, sleet and stuff. Schools were going to open up 2 hours later because they were going to, it was going to be snowing in the evening, maybe some sleet, freezing rain, that kind of stuff, in through the night and then the morning. Man, where I was, we didn't get, it was a few drizzles on the way home, like a mist. I ain't see no snow. I think I saw a video of somebody posting that they got some snow, but it was nothing like that. It was going to be a really bad rain one time. It was nothing like that. Now I get it. Weather people, it's not an exact science because you're dealing with a lot of things that you just can't quantify. All right. Oh, that SAT word. Okay. So they're dealing with things that they're just trying to, predict. So I get it. It's a prediction. It's not exact. Here's my issue. When they get it right, and they do get it right when it's, when it comes, especially when it comes to like wind, it's going to be windy on this side of town. I want to say they like 99.9% accurate. Every time they've said it's going to be windy, dusty, it's windy, dusty. If temperature is going to be colder, is cold front coming, it is. So they are very accurate and they do a great job. But my problem is when they get it right, they all over, they all on the, we predicted it first and, it was coming here and our models and, so they're beating their chest. They're saying it with their chest, right? They're all, they're happy. And I get that. Yes. You save people, some headaches, some, time, whatever it is, that's what happens. But when they get it wrong, I don't see them like, hey, that was my bad. We said 70%, and man, that motherfucking front just moved on to the side or something like that. They don't say that, right? I know they don't say that. I know they don't. I'm sorry, mama. I know they're not supposed to be. They don't curse and stuff, but I can see them, kind of saying it, like a hood weatherman. Yo, man, we thought that shit was coming this way. Man, I don't know what happened, dog. So, but the point I'm making is, if you're wrong, I would like to see once the next day and say, hey, you know what? Our models were wrong with what we got. Okay, it's not an exact science. You don't have to tell us that because, I figure most people are intelligent enough to know. But, yo, send them my bad shout out from time to time. So I know I'm going to get a lot of, people like, man, you need to stop messing with the weather, man. Why don't you predict the weather? Actually, I'm a weather guy because growing up in Dallas, I had to understand what them sirens meant. And if you ain't never heard no sirens go off, it makes the back of the hair on your neck stand up. Real, true talk. Okay, so that's a TAS word. True talk. Yes, sir. I'm trying to spit them. So, I've always been fascinated. My wife will tell you, and my friends will tell you, like when it's hurricane season, man, I'm all over it. I'm tracking the storm. I'm not telling everybody because I'm not a professional in doing it. So I'm tracking it. I'm watching it. The hurricane hits, tornadoes hit, and stuff. I'm gonna tell you how fascinated I am. When I used to work for the Parks and Rec department, we got a grant, and we actually had, I think it was called a Cavoris machine. It was a weather machine. And I actually had city personnel that were contacting me, asking me if I could give them updates on certain things, whether it was storms or, how dry it was going to be. Because this machine, it was the same machine that the news stations use. It was great. Had a weather person come over once and talk to the kids and stuff about watching the machine and everything. And there was a storm that came through where it was an actual funnel cloud that was about to form over downtown. And I had to tell people, hey, y'all need to be taking shelter. Now, again, I wasn't on no. They were calling and asking, so I was just telling them what I saw. Now, do I aspire to be a weatherman? Nah. But I just love the weather. So I would really appreciate if my brethren, now I'm part of the organization since I told y'all I had the machine. No, I would really appreciate if they were more accountable and say, hey, yo, we got it wrong. Ain't nobody going to be mad. Ain't nobody going to say, well, there might be some idiots out there that will turn around and be like, well, you told us it was going to be 72 and it was actually 71. You need to be fired. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's people out there like that. But I'm just saying, for once, if you get it wrong, say it. Because when you get it right, we hear about it for weeks. When we predicted the weather 10 years ago, we were on it. Yeah, well, what happened about year 11? So that's all I got to say about the weather, man. And I'm sure I'm gonna get calls from the FCC and the ABC and the DEC and whoever else say, hey, you can't be clowning the weatherman, man. You need to get off there. So I apologize in advance. So moving along, it was some great football weekend. Now, did the games both turn out to be great? No. Philly, San Fran had really strong opportunity, and they had some very bad things go against them with Purdy getting his elbow hurt, and then the replacement coming in. I think his last name was Johnson. I could be off. He came in and he got a concussion, and then Purdy had to come back in, and everybody knew. I mean, it was evident that they couldn't throw. So they were trying to do gimmick plays and stuff, and it was a mess. So, I believe there's talk that they're going to have some type of emergency rule to where teams can get, a third string quarterback, because with just having two quarterbacks, they weren't able to have a third due to certain roster spots or something in the laws. But they used to have it, and I think they went away from it, so they're gonna, do it again. So at least if you had a third string quarterback coming in, they could at least throw. And if you think about it, Purdy was a third string quarterback, right? So you can fare well, but you'd rather have somebody that at least knows the plays and knows how to throw. So that was a very unfortunate situation for San Francisco, and it seems to happen where it's just damn, maybe next year, but. Like my man said, yeah, but we beat Dallas. That's exactly what he said. So It was funny. Hey, that ain't a shot at Dallas Cowboy fans, all right? It's just funny the way, they say it. The way he said it. Onto the AFC, that was a great game. Mahomes really, really, really showed guts because I don't know if you've ever had a high ankle sprain. High ankle sprains are, I don't want to say impossible, but they are really, really difficult to come back from because your weight, the way you try to displace your weight, it doesn't matter, right? So for him to tough it out and be productive, was extraordinary. So hats off to him. Look, I feel bad in the moment. I was like, like everybody else, like, what was you thinking about with was this a linebacker or defensive end? His last name is Osei, I think it is. But watching him make that play, you're in the moment. So, I've plenty of people have done stuff in the moment, and it's like, damn, why did I do that? You got to be better. He'll learn from it. Here's the thing that coaches will say, well, that one play didn't cost us the game. We had all the other opportunities in us thing. I'm like, nah, man, that play cost you the game. That was 15 yards. That gave this kicker extra 15 yards to kick, who could already kick as well. That cost the game, right? We don't want to say it, but that cost the game. And yeah, there are other things that led to that, but he doesn't get that penalty. They more than likely they're gonna just try to go in. They might try to make a pass, to get a few extra yards. But the way Cincinnati was playing them defensively, it was going to be a tough few yards. So would they have an opportunity to get a 15-yard play? Absolutely. If it was a weird defensive, scheme that they had that allowed somebody to get open. But in all, I feel for him, and I hope I'm sure he'll recover. He's going to use it for fuel. I do want to touch on something. I was listening to my man, Michael Irvin, and he was talking about, your will to win. Now, I've always heard people, and most of them are people who have never played, elite sports or played sports at a high level anyway, right? And they'll say, that bulletin board material stuff, that stuff doesn't matter. You're paid to win. Michael Irvin said, what that bulletin board material does is you have a will to win. You're going in for a will to win. When that extra stuff gets in your head and it's that fourth quarter, and you're trying to fight for that extra down, that's when that bulletin board material really gets in your head. Like, you know what? I know I only have 50% in the tank, but damn it, I'm gonna find a way to get an extra 50% when I'm going on this play, right? I'm going to make this play because of that will to win and because of what I heard them saying. So absolutely, that you people talk noise and you hear it. Yeah, you're going to play hard because you're supposed to, but you always really buckle down and play even harder. And you've seen it in games where one team really doesn't have a chance, and everybody's counting them out and they play even harder, so I believe in that, that bulletin board material, you talk trash, those kind of things happen. So, I think it's going to, hopefully Mahomes is, better. I think, the 2 weeks off will give him some time. He's not going to be like 100%, better, obviously, because of the high ankle sprain, but he might, they should be able to get him right enough to where he could perform for 60 minutes as long as nobody tries to tackle him low and, he twists and stuff, or he lands or he plants wrong. I think he can function enough it's the Super Bowl, and like I was telling my wife, like, hell, you going to suck it up because after this game, if you need surgery, you can get surgery because you have off season, right? So you got one more game to play. So let me get into something that it seems to be I don't want to say epidemic, but it is a problem fighting at games. There are fights at games now, all over the country. Obviously, you see it in pro sports, and that's primarily because you got people liquored up. They're drinking, and they get in and they're talking trash. So you see sometimes where opposing team fans are fighting. Then you see where, hell, y'all on the same team and y'all fight. Y'all fans of the same team, but y'all fight each other. Like, damn, okay, all right. You see it in college sports sometimes, in high school sports. And this is what I'm referring to. There was a fight at a game week and a half ago, something like that, 2 weeks ago. And it was history because there was a lot of other stuff going on. I don't want to get off into details because to me, all of that stuff doesn't matter. You have to set a precedent as league directors at schools. If you're hosting an event, you got to make sure that you kick people out if they're rowdy. If they're not. Look, I'm not saying you can't boo. I'm not saying you can't be in there. You got to be in there and sit on your hands and clap and cheer. Yay, good job, stuff like that. Yeah, no, you can be passionate. You can let the refs know when they make a bad call. That seems, by the way, that seems to be something that's going around like the flu with referees, boy. They're just making bad calls on everything. Oh, my God. Hell, I might get a technical 15-yard unsportsmanlike penalty just for saying it on the air, so I'll let y'all know if that happens. But you can be passionate, but when you're, almost inciting violence towards referees, towards coaches, towards players, towards each other's. And then you find out about the people because they always try to find out, about the people who did it. And you find like, Cheryl is a cooking major and she enjoys, knitting or something. I don't know. Benjamin, in his spare time, he likes to volunteer with the church or whatever. I'm just making this up. I don't know if there was somebody named Benjamin or Cheryl. So if there's a Cheryl and Benjamin out there, I don't, I know a whole bunch of great people, a lot of great people named with those names. Okay. I'm pretty sure y'all are. So that first name that came to my mind. Don't get mad at me. But, the point I'm making is, what is it about sporting events that make people act unnatural and uncharacteristic? Where you can be smiling and a really positive person, but then you get in there and you're consumed with rage and anger to where you have to fight at a game? Yo, fuck. None of y'all getting fucking paid. Y'all don't own no stakes in the team. I could understand. Look, I'd understand it more if you had owners of the teams, of professional teams that are fighting each other, right? Because they making money. The players, I guess I could get that because they're getting paid. The high school coaches, if they were fighting each other, I mean, they're getting a stipend. But y'all not getting paid to go in there and fight. I don't pay my money to come out there and watch parents get into it and talk shit about stuff that, frankly, the more I will go out and watch, and I don't do it as much because I'm working, I'm doing what I need to do, right? The more I get out there and listen to parents, y'all don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. I hear parents, oh, that's a travel. Like, damn, they just took the ball out of bounds. That's a foul. Y'all have to understand the rules, really. And part of it is you hear other people say it and you always want it to be like they're against your team. I get that. But let the game play. There's a referee shortage. Y'all can't have no games if ain't no fucking refs. Keep that shit up. You're going to get to where they're going to be live streaming games. You can't come in, but you're going to have to pay a premium to see that game. Watch. The blueprint was set during COVID. Look, COVID did a lot. COVID did a lot and showed businesses a lot of stuff. Man, we can have people in. We don't even have to have people there. Y'all want to watch out? You want to watch little Johnny play? I'm not gonna say little Johnny because everybody always says little Johnny. You want to watch little Keenan play? Yeah, you're gonna have to pay $14.99 for an hour to watch this game, and you can't share the code with nobody. Anybody whose phone is in it, they got to pay the same thing. Y'all got to calm down for real. None of these high school players or NBA, they're not going to the draft tomorrow. They're not. Calm down. Enjoy the game. Root, cheer, boo. Yes. Bad call. Oh, that's terrible. I guess, the you suck ref. I've never been one to do or get all off into that. But, if you want to say that, that's fine. But you got to think. There are kids listening. And they're watching. And they're paying attention. And they're an extension of what you do. So please, people have already gotten killed. Aqib Talik's brother killed somebody in Dallas. Little League football game. He killed another coach. You can't take that shit away. Now, I'm going to talk a little street. I don't go to the games, right? When I do go, I sit away, and I just try to watch what I'm there to watch. I'm there to watch whoever it is, and I'm training, pay attention, make mental notes and stuff. Most parents and kids usually don't know that I'm there because I don't want them to know that I'm there. But, if I'm going to watch a game, real talk, I'm probably going to be strapped. Now, if I had that kind of mentality, who else you think might be starting to think that? I'm posing a danger to everybody's welfare because I don't think the person who's sitting next to me is going to be smart enough to just enjoy the game. That he or she is going to try to get into it over a call, right? They're going to be disrespectful to the coach. That coach could be my brother. That coach could be a great friend of mine. If it's a female, it could be my wife. Now, my wife doesn't coach, but I'm giving you an example. That player that you're telling them to slam on the ground could be my son or daughter. That's not even basketball. And when you say that, the referee hears it, of course they're going to clean it up. There's a reckoning coming. Y'all really need to understand that. I'm talking to everybody. Coaches, sometimes y'all real demonstrative with how y'all are disputing the call, and I get it. You see it one way. Look, they're human. The referees are human. Players are human. Coaches are human. You don't see the coaches ridiculing y'all if y'all down by 30. Referees not running out of damn coach. What you gonna do, man? You down by 30. Why don't you coach better? You don't see him getting on the players. Damn, dog, he didn't hit you for 40 points. You can't guard him? Boy, you need to get your ass in the gym and learn how to play defense. Nah, referee, if ref did that, man, y'all will go ballistic. Now, there are some really bad refs out there. I've seen it. And I know refs that know those bad refs. They're really bad. Just like they're really bad players, just like they're really bad coaches, just like they're really bad participants. We're human beings, and the greatest thing about being human beings are we're emotional, and we understand how to try to fix and change things. The worst thing about human beings is that we're emotional. That's our flaw. We got to let our emotions get ahead of us sometimes. So please, I don't want to be talking about this no more. This is like the second or third time I've mentioned it. And yeah, nobody's forcing me to talk about it, but y'all made the news. I tell you what though, start making some of this shit more criminal. Start putting parents in check by what is it? By fining them, issuing them tickets where they have to take time to come out and go in front of the judge. The judge gives them community service. Start treating it like you treat other crimes, because technically it is. It's disorderly conduct. Start doing that. Watch how right they people get. You'll still have some idiots that'll do it. But if you make it to where some of these people gonna have to start facing fines, They got to go to community service. Some of them might have to go get, because I tell you what, if I'm the judge, I ain't accepting no community service. Nah, man, get your ass in there. You're going to spend 60 days in jail. You can argue with that dude over there that's in for, he's facing attempted murder. Yeah, yell at him. See how that goes. And it's just going to be you and him in that jail cell. Right? Get it together, y'all. For real. Get it together. And if you don't, whatever happens, can't be crying and complaining about it. Yo, I like to give a shout out to my sponsors. Next Style Designs. Next Style Designs makes quality shirts or custom apparel for all occasions. Next Style Designs. Mind Inc. Mind Inc. offers a wide array of digital media. Mind Inc. asks, are you using your mind? Southwest Basketball Showcase Recruiting Service. The link between your coach and your dreams. Maracay Zero Down Solar. Call Greg Suber for your solar needs. PCS Plus is the carpet service for all your cleaning needs. Okay, so basketball training ideology. I hated to get on my rant, but I was just moved. It just flowed through me. Somebody wanted me to talk bad about it, and I needed to. So nobody wanted me to talk bad about it. I'm just saying it just flowed through me. All right, so with my basketball training analogy, this isn't a rant. It might come across as a rant as well. But my question to parents and kids is, do you guys know what an offer is? What's a college offer? What's in college interest? College interest is a school showing that they are interested in you. That's usually how it starts. An actual offer is when they actually put it on the table and say, hey, we want you. We're going to offer you a full ride or a partial, or we're going to do all of these steps. Now, what does that have to do with anything? I'm sure most of y'all know that. But I asked that question about if y'all know what an offer is because I actually spoke to a college coach a couple of days ago about certain kids, and letting them know that, hey, I got some kids that can play. Just let me know if you're interested. And the coach said, well, we're very interested, but, we've tried in the past to recruit kids out in that area, and they tend to not want to come, and some of them just say they're going to stay, at home, which was shocking to me because that's not the first coach that said that. And it made me wonder, obviously I have to look at both sides because it's like, well, if you have a history of kids coming home from El Paso from your program, then you probably need to look and see what it is within your program, and I've challenged them to that. Say, hey, what is it that you're doing? Now, I know that there are schools that they have kids from El Paso that have been playing there, 2-3 years. I mean, they have more kids, but like currently there are kids there. So, they do recruit. The way it was proposed was almost like the kids that they talk to kind of look down on what their program is, whether it's the NAIA or D3 or D2 or JUCO. It seems to be that parents, kids are fascinated with saying, hey, if it's not D1, it's let me tell you something. I put on a showcase, and I will be putting on a showcase this year again. And I used to put on a showcase. So in promoting it, I'll put it out there. I have colleges there, and I'll have the whole gambit. I have scouts and everything there. I had a kid call me, and I'm not going to say his name. I had a kid call me, and the kid says, are there going to be any Division I coaches there? I said, well, I am in touch with some. I don't always know if they're going to be able to come. I said, plus you got to understand, I'm not doing this during the live period. Well, the kid didn't know what that meant. But the kid was like, well, if there are no Division I coaches, then I'm not going to come. And then I had to ask the kid, say, well, okay, since we want to be clear and honest with each other, I said, if you're a Division I player, they probably would already know who you are. They probably would already have been contacting you or your coach. So I asked him, I said, so do you have any Division I schools looking at you right now? No, sir, I don't. I said, okay. Do you have any Division II schools looking at you right now? No, sir. Okay. Do you have any NAIA schools? I have one NAIA school that's expressed interest in a Division III and a JUCO. So I had to try to tell him this without coming across. And it was kind of one of those, look, man, I'm not saying, I have never seen you play. You know, I know of you. You have height and you have length, and, you know, you could very well be a Division I player. But if they're not looking at you, why would you shun the opportunity for another school that's going to pay, that could see your value in talent, and pay for your full ride where you don't have to pay for anything? He understood. Now, he didn't show up to the showcase. He ended up, I want to say the kid ended up going JUCO, and I think that kid ended up playing D2 or Division I think, at some point. You know, wasn't a star player, but, you know, you can't teach height, you know, and athleticism and you know, and energy and stuff like that. And those were some things that the kid possessed. And I was happy for him. I was. But the point I was trying to make is, if you were in that group of people that says, well, if there's no Division I school looking at me, then I'm going to continue to wait. Keep that shit up. Because what's going to happen is, when you find out that you weren't Division I material and those schools end up coming back, I mean, you end up going back to those schools, then you try to get in, and that school's like, oh, we've already filled that roster spot, right? I had a scout tell me once, you're recruited by your level. So if you're getting a ton of hits, you know, Division III, Division II, maybe NAIA, JUCO, then that scout said, then that's your level. That's where you should be looking to play. You're not going to get all of those, and then all of a sudden, you know, 4 or 5 Division I schools hit you. Now, can it happen? Absolutely. I know it's happened, because I've known people that it's happened, and it happened because those players weren't out there. They were hidden, and then they got an opportunity to play in front of, you know, people who make decisions and recognize talent, and you know, they got it at the 12th hour. So, yeah, it does happen. But that percentage that it happens to is probably less than 10. So you have to understand, you know, here's something I'm going to say, and I say it to my kids and to their parents. If I'm looking at you, grading you, I'm not grading you always on how well you did. I'm grading your deficiencies, because those deficiencies are what those colleges are looking at to determine if you're going to be good enough to play on their level. Height is one of the things that nobody can coach. So if you have height on the boys' side or on the girls' side, you're more likely going to get recruited just because of height. Because a lot of coaches say, man, I can work with the footwork. They can just stand there like a tree if they that tall. That's really, and when I say that, that's really almost a quote. It's kind of a paraphrase, but that's what a college coach told me a few years, like 5-10 years ago. Oh, I can work with that. All they got to do is stand there like a tree. I can teach them how to do that. Right? So I'm kind of like, damn, okay, you know, and you kind of start to understand it, and you listen, and you figure out, you know, what college coaches are looking for. On the girl side, it's different. You know, you can be 5'6" on the girl side, and if you're a really good player, you can get lots of looks. It's hard to be 5'6" on the boys' side. You have to be exceptional. Okay? So obviously there are different grading when you're looking at boys and girls. But the fact that there are people out here on boys and girls. And if you go to Twitter, you can look at it. If you go to social media, you can look at it. You're gonna always see people, ranting and raving about this. Like, man, I don't know why these people think they're all Division I players. If they're Division I players, they'd be recruited right now. Not everybody's a Division I. And if your deficiencies are lacking, that could be what holds you from being a Division I. You have to be able to play defense. If you can't defend, chances are you're not going to step on a division. Chances are you might not step on a college floor, period. If you can't guard nobody, yeah, you could score 30. But if the person you guard is all above their averages, they average 4 or 6 points, but they drop 26 because you're guarding them, that's the unknown, and y'all lose that game. Oh, wow, I scored 30. Yeah, man, but the person you guard only averages 4 points, and they scored 26. Right? You got to be able to play defense. Okay? That is a must. That is non-negotiable. You find me any college coach, hell, any coach that preaches, oh, no, you don't have to play defense with us. No, you can do whatever you want. Please send them to me so I can interview them, because I need them to say it. So I can say, damn, I was wrong. I'm not going to be the weatherman. I'm going to turn around and say, you know what? I was wrong. There is an idiot out here who doesn't preach defense on teams, and he might not be the coach for very long. Now, do you have to be a lockdown defender? No. There are people in college, NBA, high school, they play just enough defense to play defense. Teams try to attack you, and you devise ways to help and aid. But you have to be able to have a basic understanding of rotations, how to close out, how to switch, rotate and help your teammate out, help it recover, strong side defense, weak side. You have to have that basic understanding, and you have to be able to try to at least I'm not saying keep your man from going around you. And when I say man, I don't mean only men. I'm saying you're the person you're guarding. Okay, it's not like you can't let them go by. People are going to get by you, but there has to be some resistance. You can't be like a matador opening a door, and letting them go by you. So if you can't play defense and you're scoring 25, 26 points, you're leading the city and everything, that's probably something that you might need to look at. Because I'll tell you what I hear from almost every scout and almost every coach. They're going to pose a question. Okay, yeah, you're averaging 25, 27 a game, but in our conference, we have longer defenders. So if they take if they hold you to under 15 points and you struggle to get your shots off, what else can you do? And if you can't do anything else, yeah, you're going to sit on the bench because they're only going to give you a few shots. And if those shots aren't going and you're not in the offense, you can't help us rebound. You can't help us handle the ball. You can't help us defend. So you're a liability right now. So please, if you guys are getting offers, I'm not saying you got to take the first offer, because there are some crummy coaches out there too. And I keep watch of them because I try to keep any kids that we train or any kids that parents ask me about with school, I try to keep them away from them. Yes, I do. Because there are some that are very disingenuous with what they do when they try to recruit. And they tell you one thing, you get up there, and then they do completely opposite of what they were doing. Yo, be honest. Be honest. Don't tell no kids they're going to have the green light to shoot. And then when you get up there, you get on them because that's what they do, and they knocking down the shots, and you take them out because you don't want them shooting that early in the shot clock. Yes, that actually happened. That actually happened at a college, right? So it's both sides. But if y'all are getting offers or interest, you really need to take time and look into it. I tell my kids, you're like the bachelor or the bachelorette. These colleges are the people who want, they want to marry you. So you're giving out roses. Give them roses. Talk to them, because you never know. Here's the most important thing you need to understand about college coaches. They all talk to each other. So if a college coach, if you're trying to go and you just say, you know what, they say, hey, look, we really like to have you, but we don't have a roster spot this year, and we don't, we're tight on our budget with money and stuff. They might know another coach at another school that would love to have you, and you could excel in there. So by not talking to that coach, not responding to those messages, you never know that you might need that coach. Hell, that coach could end up getting a job at another school that you wanted to go to. And now you expect that coach to try to look at recruiting you? That coach is going to be like, nah. Is it petty? Maybe. But I think it's worth it. If that's how you feel, if that's how you conduct your life, then you got to own it. I'm not saying you kiss people's butt. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying be true. But listen to these schools. If they're taking the time out. Look, most of these schools and these coaches are calling you guys and looking at you during season. During season. They're communicating with you during season. Take the 5 minutes or 10 minutes to just ask questions. Ask tough questions. Be real. But to just scoff at a school or say you would rather stay home than play at a school. And I know kids at that school, and I hadn't heard the kind of, I'm not saying there were atrocious things said, but I'm trying to figure out, well, why would this kid stay home as opposed to play when this kid has put pretty much 85% of their life has been dedicated to playing, traveling, getting better, training. You go to high school, you have an opportunity. I'm not saying you don't, because the end comes for everybody as far as sports. You have an opportunity and you don't even want to listen to that person? Nah, I'm a pass. Okay, all right. And I tell you what happens every year. Some coaches just sit back because they know, yeah, these kids ain't going to get recruited. And then they're going to come. I'm just going to wait, and I'm going to replenish my stock at the end of the season. This is a JUCO coach. I'm just going to replenish my stock because these kids ain't getting in. Now they coming back. Now I hold it. Now that offer you I was going to give you at the beginning, now you got to fight 12 other hungry dogs that want it. Good luck. Y'all better get y'all mind right when it comes to this, because with a lot of stuff going, everything's changing. Coaches and colleges do not have to recruit. They can take kids from the transfer portal. Although the transfer portals is changing, you got prep schools, post-grad prep schools. There's a lot of the other ways kids are getting noticed, man. So y'all need to really contemplate what it is that y'all are looking at doing. Okay, so that's going to be all for my training ideology. Sorry, got tongue-tied. Let me cover my bonus content before I get out of here for my Patreon version that's coming up. Well, I'm going to talk about a video of a coach cussing out a player. Yeah, I saw it. I'm going to tell y'all what I think about it. I'm going to talk about training at the level of the kid. Very fascinating thing that I didn't even know was a thing. But I learned it over the years that I've trained. I'm going to talk about reverse pivots, which I think are very, very important and effective. A funny video got sent to me of video of trainers with extreme methods. It was funny. I'm going to officially announce my all-time criteria. I'm announcing it. So this is going to be the few criteria that I have to, and I might add one between now and the time I do it, but these are the ones that I'm going to go with. Conversation with my mom in strip clubs. That's all I'm going to say. So I appreciate y'all joining me. Tap that like button, send me comments. We can talk. If there's something I didn't cover, there's something you want me to cover, let me know. If you feel like what I said today was too mean or too hurtful, let me know. I can tone down. I'm sorry I did use more explicitives than I wanted to. I'm sorry, Mama. I'm gonna get a call from her probably after she hears it. Boy, you better get your mouth right. And then she says it, and I can tell when she's mad because she's saying it and she has her teeth clench. She's not moving her teeth. I don't know if you can understand, like, you know, when a parent talks to you like that, boy, that's when you know they mad. Boy, you better. All right, so let me get out of here and let me end it as always. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it. I'm out.
Street cred sports, say it with your chest. Yeah. Go get it from the net. Street cred sports, okay, that's a bet.